and then we will go ahead with outline agreements. So let's try to understand what is an outline agreement, what are the types of outline agreements, how we use outline agreements for the purpose of procuring materials. As you know, an outline agreement represents a long-term arrangement made with the vendor to procure a certain material or a service at a certain price over a given period of time. So outline agreement means it's nothing but a long-term arrangement. When I say long-term arrangement, you should have a fixed start date and fixed ending date. Okay, so this agreement covers the requirements of a certain material or a period of time, right? Such kinds of agreements are called outline agreements. The advantage or the purpose of this agreement is within this period you can refer the agreement which is made for a certain material or a certain service, and you can access those conditions negotiated, say a month back, a year back, or 2 years back, or 5 years back, depending upon the validity period that you specify in the agreement. That's the advantage of defining outline agreements. Okay, outline agreements are of two types. One is contract, the other one is scheduling agreement. So what do you mean by contract? A contract is nothing but, again, it's a type of outline agreement wherein you specify how much quantity is required for a certain material in a given period of time. You will just say the total quantity required for a certain material even in a given period of time. You don't specify when do you require how much quantity. You know what? They are called delivery schedules. So the delivery schedules information is not maintained in the contract. Therefore, for the material, whenever you require it, whenever there is a need for that material, you still have to raise an order with reference to the contract. Therefore, that order is called as release order. So the primary difference between, okay, this we will see it later, the difference between scheduling agreement and the contract. Okay, so primarily contract is nothing but it's a quantity of a material to be procured in a given specified period of time with the agreed or the negotiated prices and terms. These prices and terms, they are valid for the entire period within which you have made this contract. The contract contains total quantity or total value but does not contain any release information or does not contain any delivery information. Therefore, whenever you require a material, you still have to raise an order with reference to contract, and such agreement is called as contract. Contracts are of two types. One is called quantity contract, the second one is called value contract. What do you mean by a quantity contract? A quantity contract simply contains total quantity requirement of a certain material in a given period of time with the stipulated or negotiated terms and conditions for that material within this period of time. Whereas the other type of contract is called value contract. A value contract is nothing but instead of total quantity requirement, you specify total value requirement for the period of time within which you are defining the contract. Typically, AMCs, annual maintenance contracts. For example, you have a computer lab in your office, okay, which might require some sort of service from the organization from whom you have taken the machines, that is laptops or desktops, whatever they could be. So you will have some kind of annual maintenance contract for say 100,000 INR or 10 lakhs INR, something like that. So between that period, within that period, so whatever the service in such contracts, the amount is paid to the vendor based on the value. So So we will see both quantity and value contracts. Whether it is a quantity contract or a value contract, either of that it could be, it does not contain any delivery information. Whenever you require a material, you still have to raise an order and then create a material. Let me open the Excel file also. And also there is one more thing, what we call it as, I'm still have to look into these things. Okay, so here I specify outline agreements. Okay, like I said, there are two types. One is contract, the other one is SCA, scheduling agreement. Again, contracts are of two types. Like I said, quantity contract. Okay, the second one is value contract. We will discuss about scheduling agreements little later. Okay, and there is something called central contracts also. We will discuss about even these ones as well. Okay, we will see what is central contract little later. Okay, so how to create a contract? So let's try to understand how to create a contract. For contract creation, you use transaction code ME31K. Okay, you use ME31K, whereas quantity contract, the document type is MK. Value contract, the document type you can say is WK. So whether it is quantity contract or value contract, you still have to go with ME31K, which is transaction code for creation of a contract. So how do you go? How do you navigate? Material management, purchasing, you see here, outline agreement, go with contract and then create a contract. I'll just show a generic contract. Let's say, what did I say about contract? It's a long-term arrangement made with the vendor. So therefore you have to have a vendor. So let me go and pick up some vendor for my organization. Okay, so my organization is 77, I think C, Central, no, Global, but sorry, Company Code Specific Purchase Organization. Let's say I use this ID. Agreement type, like I told you, you have to choose either of the contract types. You see here, you might be seeing a lot of things over here, but don't worry about all these things. MK and WK, these are the only two things that is of your requirement. Rest of the things, GCTR, CCTR and PCTR, these are meant for SRM contracts, so you need not have to worry about these things as long as you are not working in SRM environment. So time being, I'm going with quantity contract. Okay, which organization is responsible for negotiating and maintaining this agreement? Obviously it is your purchasing organization and your purchasing group. Who is responsible? The actual person who is negotiating and creating this agreement, it's the purchasing group, that is buyer, right? So after entering these two, just hit enter. Like I said in the beginning, during the definition of an outline agreement or a contract, what is that? It's a long-term arrangement made with the vendor to procure a certain material or a service over a period of time. So it means what? It should have a specific start date and a specific end date. So I'm going to state this as something like a 1-year contract. So I would say 20/06/2012 to 20/06/2013, right? So like any other purchasing document or any other SAP document, it will have header information, item overview information and item details information. So in the header information, the outline agreement or contract header information. You have the agreement number itself, the company code for which it is being created, the purchasing organization and the group responsible for creating this agreement, and the agreement date on which it is created, and also the validity start and end dates of this agreement, right? Plus whatever the payment terms that are coming from the vendor master. Okay, so all these things, including when you go into enter, now you see here item overview. So here you need to specify what is the item. It's a quantity based contract, so therefore you have to specify the material. I would just go with your, oops, is it plant? Did we create plants like this? Is it 777C is your plant? Okay, so let's say I'm going to go with piston rings. This is my material. Target quantity, let's say I wanted 1000 rings. You see here, plant 77C Chennai. Okay, now it's asking enter net price. So let me try to find out the price, the one that I've given in the material master. Hmm. 77C. Okay, the price I have maintained is 120. So assume it, this buyer is offering me price at the rate of 115. Okay, I'll just go with this condition type as gross price. Okay, now after entering the item overview, okay, you can go into, I would say, messages, in case if you want to see the messages, or from the header information itself. When you are here, you see here you have something called messages. You click here, NU is the output type. Okay, and then you just go ahead, check it, and then you save it. In case if there are any errors, it will be displayed. Remember, I did not give any conditions. Okay, but let me show you the conditions also. I've just created a contract which is of type quantity. Why quantity? You see here, this is my document. I'll just go and change it. Why is this being considered as quantity? Because in the item overview I did specify that this is the quantity required is 1000 each in the period between 2006-2012 to 2006-2013. Okay, now if you want to specify the conditions, you can go and maintain them as well. Okay, so let me take you to that place. It's taking time. Now you see here, this is only the gross price. Other than this, if you have any other conditions that you wanted to negotiate, of course these are some of them which probably I might have configured for my previous batch. Okay, so these are conditions. We will define our own condition types when we work with our what you call the pricing procedure. So depending upon if there is any discount or surcharge or freight charges, etc., you just have to choose it here. Okay, so now here I wanted to give scales information. You see here PB00, which is a gross price condition. The gross price for this material piston rings is 115. Look at here, I wanted to go with scales. if the quantity is anything above 100, okay, or let me put it here, up to 100, 115. From 200 onwards, I would say 112. Anything above 500, I can give it for, or the vendor can give it for 110, right? So you can actually maintain these conditions on the basis of quantity. So in the PO, if you are creating a PO for 100 quantity, it's going to be 115. If it is more than 100, it's going to be 112. If it is more than 500, right, or above, it is 110. Let's see, let me go and save it. Within this particular document, did I ever stated when do I require how much quantity? Can you hear me? Radhika or Pavitra? Even Sudhakar?
Hi, Venkat. I just joined. I was in a call.
No, okay.
Apologies for that.
Right. So, question to Radhika and Pavitra. Did I specify anywhere about my delivery requirements?
No.
No. So therefore, simply creating contract itself does not serve any purpose. It's only meant for accessing the best possible conditions negotiated for the long-term requirement, right? So this is what we call it as a contract. Like I said, with a simple contract, you cannot procure the material. You still have to raise an order, right? So this is what I was explaining it to you. Simply creating a contract doesn't suffice the need. You still have to raise an order with reference to a contract which states the material requirements, right? So now look at here, slash O ME21N. I'm trying to create a purchase order. While creating purchase order, I will be referring contract as the reference document. I think I have created my own document type. PO document type for Nissan POs. I think this is the one. Okay. So the organization that is creating purchase order is this one. Now if I go into document overview, okay, go with selection variant and go with contracts. Okay. I wanted to find out the contracts created for this material. So I'll be removing everything except this. So let me put material number over here and then execute. Okay, you see here I have a contract here. Let me go and adopt the information from the contract. Now you need to remember, you see here the quantity is not defaulted here. Why? Pavitra or
There are
Radhika?
different quantities and for different prices.
Okay, that's the reason. So therefore quantity you have to enter it, because let's say if I want quantity 50, look at here, of course price is not still being picked up. The reason is, did we,
Minimum is 100.
okay, so let me maintain 100, hit enter, but still release order against contract not possible. Why? Can you just give me a moment? I'm getting the call. Hello. Okay. It says release orders against contract is not possible. Why? Probably a release procedure would have been triggered for this. Let me just go and see. Somebody did set up a release procedures, therefore it is being picked up. So you have to release the contract first. So how do I release the contract? We have discussed in the previous class how to set up release procedure. The process is same for setting up release procedures on the purchase requisitions, orders or contracts, whatever. But the release, right? The
Purchase.
actual release of a purchase requisition or a purchase order or a contract, you have got a different transaction codes. For releasing contract, there is something called ME35K, right? So now you go with C3, try to execute it. Is this the contract? Yes, it is. So select it, release plus save. Once again, C4, I assume it is C3, C4, C5. No suitable purchasing documents. Release plus save. Once more, this time with C5. Release plus save. Okay, so it now got completely released. Let's go and have a look at your contract as well. If you look into this flag, you would see release was happened, completely released, indicator R. Okay, you are now allowed to create a purchase requisition for this. /n ME21N, once again, PO document type for Nissan POs. Okay, I'll go with document overview on and then contracts, material number so and so, right? So this is your contract, so you refer it. Okay, here you see here I'll just go with quantity 100. Now you see the price is being picked up is 115. If I go with quantity of 35, net price must be greater than 0 because the quantity is not matching here. If I go with 135, see here 135 is still 115. If I go with 235, now you see the price is keep getting changed. Why? That's because of the scales information that you have maintained. If I simply go with 199, even it's going to be 115. Are you getting my point? So therefore, while you are creating a purchase order with reference to contract, ensure that you see here, I can go with this, right? Go into messages, ensure that you have this available, LP01. Okay, and if I go with check, I'll just go and is release procedure triggered for this also. Okay, C2, C3, C4. That's okay. You save it. Okay, now this is how the PO that is created with reference to contract, this is called release order. Okay, if PO is created with reference to a contract, that is called as release order. This is your PO. Now I wanted to show you something in the contract upon PO is created. Look at here. I'll go with display contract once again. Okay, outline agreement, display contract, it's the same thing. Now you see, select the item, go to item overview or item. You see here there is something called statistics, and then go with release documentation. Now you could see this is the PO that is being created for an item with an order date of 20/06/2012 for the quantity of 100, right? If you simply double click it, it will take you to here. But if you select this and you go with release details, you see here, this is the one PO, document type, vendor, so on and so forth. Now you select this and you go with delivery schedule. Okay, let me choose the line like this. You see here, delivery date is 20/06/2012. Scheduled quantity to be delivered is 100. Quantity delivered so far does not have any details, right? So therefore, now let me go to this. Let me release the PO. What is the transaction code for releasing PO? Individual release. Did you guys remember the transaction code? ME?
No, sir.
Yeah, ME29N is the transaction code to release the PO independently or individually. Collective release ME28 or releasing the PO individually is this one. So is this your PO? Quantity 100? Yes, it is. So therefore, you choose this one, maintain it here. Okay, now you see C2 release is possible, just release it. After C2 releases the PO, or after C2 approves the PO, it goes to C3. Once C3 also approves it, it goes to C4. Come on, did somebody set a partial approval? Now you see, out of 3 people, 2 people approved, document has been maintained as partially approved. You need not have to approve the third person. Somebody created P and made it as P. That means document is approved. Now you see here, I wanted to take this and then do goods receipt. Did I ever show you goods receipt? Migo transaction?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm just going with goods receipt. We will see this one after purchasing, just to show you how to receipt a material with reference to PO. So that you can see the delivered quantity also in the release statistics. Okay, now you see this is my PO with reference to which I'm doing goods receipt. We will discuss more about this goods receipts in the next chapter, that is inventory management. So what you have to do, you have to select goods receipt with reference to purchase order, you enter the number and then you see it like this. Okay, I would just go with out of quantity 100, assume it vendor has delivered 75. Okay, you just say item okay. When you are receiving it, you have to specify into which storage location you are receiving the material. So you specify 0001 as your storage location. You go with check to see if there is any errors. Okay, please select an instance of shipping instruction because we have made shipping instructions. So you have to evaluate the shipping instructions. Assume it your vendor has 100% compliance with the shipping instructions. Now you check it and then you post it. You might see an error in case if I am doing it for the first time, but otherwise it will get posted. Posting only possible in the period of 5. Okay, let me change the date. Posting date. Okay, I'm posting it in the previous month. Check. That's right, deficit quantity of 25, because I'm not receiving 100%, so it makes sense to for the system to say that deficit of 25, and then I go with post. Okay, so let me see what is it displays it. It's taking longer time. That's because we are doing it for the first time, so therefore it's taking little longer than expected. Any questions in this up to here? Now you see there is a material
Sir,
document which got posted. Yes, Pavitra, please go ahead.
in the agreement, you have mentioned the quantities 100, 200, and you have mentioned the price in the conditions tab. Can we give it as less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, symbols to that? Instead of exact figures like 100, 200, 300, I want that less than or equal to 100, that price should be this much. Greater than or equal to 150, this much. Can we give like that?
Good question. I'm not sure. Let's try giving it and find it out. Okay, but we always used to give the numeric figures, not the symbols. But whereas in case of defining characteristics, etc., where we used to give, but let's see. I'm not sure whether we can give it or not that way, but we can certainly look at it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, you see, I'm coming back to my contract. Okay. So let me go with ME33K display contract. As you know, 31K is creation, 32K is change, and 33K is for displaying contract. Now, this is your item. You go with item, statistics, release documentation. You could see here whatever PO that's been created so far. Within the PO, you see quantity released to date is 100. That means what? The total quantity which you have requested to deliver is 100. Target quantity is 1000. So open target quantity is 900. Out of 100 quantity which you have requested, how much it is being issued or released, you have to go with, select the document, go with release. Now once you are here, select the item, okay, and now you can go with delivery schedule. If you are here, you could see on the scheduled quantity with reference to that PO line item is 100, quantity delivered is 25. So far it is delivered is 75, right? So this is how your release statistics or release documentation will be useful. If you go with PO history, you could see here with reference to this material document, that is goods receipt document, item 1 has been posted on so and so date for quantity of so and so. The target total value of material received is 8625. Okay, so this is what we call it as contract. Now for the purpose of central contract, okay, so now let me show you the same material. Okay, just give me a moment. Is this material available in the other plant? Did we remember? Did anybody remember? I'll just go and find it out. /n SE6K.
This is only created to the 77C.
Oh, I see. 1 second. MARC is the table. If it is not, I'm going to extend it right now. material, hit. Okay, it's only available for 77C. Now I'm going to create or extend the same material to other plant. Same material, okay, copy from, okay, basic data 1, 2, purchasing, general plant data, accounting, organizational levels. Okay, copy from 77C 0001. Okay, copy to 77P, right? The other plant, Pune. Say 0001. I wanted to copy it. Okay, so I'll just simply go here, valuation class also I'm changing it here to 3001, and the price is, let's say, 120, maybe 5. Save it. Okay, now I just wanted to show you, I have created a contract. This is my contract. Okay, with reference to this contract, I wanted to create a PO. Okay, with reference to this contract, I wanted to create a PO for the second plant. Now, can you guys tell me, will the system allows me to create a PO for the second plant?
I think it should.
Okay, any other answers? Pavitra, let's say another quantity of, say, 190, right? So here, assume it is 77C, that's fine. Okay, now you see here, I wanted to once again go into this as second line, but here I wanted this as 77P, and the quantity which I require here would be of 220. What is it says? Outline agreement item plant do not match up. You know why? Because while creating contract, you see here, which plant did you give? Plant 777C. Therefore, with this, you cannot procure an item for the 777P plant. If you still wanted to go for 77C, that's okay. System allows you to procure it, but not for the other plant. If you want to go with that way, okay, if you want to go with that way, in the sense, I will create a contract which I should be able to use it for all of my plants, then I have a solution. Okay, that kind of contract is called central contract. Okay, so this is what we have done. We have created a contract, we have released it, and then we have received the material. So while creating purchase order, okay, the conditions will be taken from the contract. You can also create a contract with reference to requisition or an RFQ or an existing contract. Okay, item categories, we will come back to this one. Centrally agreed contract. Let me explain you what is a centrally agreed contract. You see here, this is a contract created by the central purchasing organization, and while creating purchase orders, whenever you need material, the same contract is being referred by plant MONT, plant TUXT, and plant MEXT. And you could see here, even the purchase organization is different. Such kind of contract is called centrally agreed contract, or simply central contract. Okay, a central contract is the one which will be created similar to the quantity contract, but you do not specify the plant. You do not specify the plant while creating the contract at the item level. Okay, it means you simply do not enter plant over here. Let me just go and create one. Let's say I'll go and create this time for a different vendor. Let me just go and choose pick up a different vendor. 777C Sudhakar or Sridhar. It's again a quantity contract. 77 purchase organization. So here what you have to give is your global purchase organization. I guess it is 77G, isn't it? Okay, you see here 77G. You choose any purchasing group, which is okay. Now look at here. In the previous instance, when I used 777C as the purchase organization, system did not ask me to enter company code. Whereas when I'm using 777G, system is asking company code. Can anybody tell me why?
And basically, this purchasing organization.
Because this
One after another. Sudhakar, please go ahead.
Sorry, what I thought is this 77G, which is a global purchasing organization, is attached to the company code, right?
Is attached to company code?
It's not. Maybe it's attached to the rule. I'm not getting confused.
Okay, that's your answer. Next, Radhika, I think you are saying something.
no, it's Pavitra, sir.
Pavitra. Yeah, go ahead, Pavitra.
We have in the organization structure, the centrally purchasing group should not be linked to the company code. That is the rule that was set. Right?
Exactly, that's the right answer. It's not purchasing group, it is purchasing organization. We discussed a lot about central purchase organization. That is, a central purchase organization should not be assigned to any company code in the configurations. Instead, the assignment of company code with the purchase organization takes place during transaction level. What am I doing now? I'm doing a transaction of creation of a contract. This is a transaction. So therefore, all the transactions are created and they are accounted at company code level. Therefore, a company code is required. So now system is asking me which company code would you like to assign it to the 77G purchasing organization. So my company code is 777. Therefore, I assign it. Vendor so and so has not been created for purchase organization. Makes sense. Let me extend this vendor. If you could remember, all my vendors which I have created would have been created for company code specific purchase organization. So therefore, I have to extend my vendor for the global purchase organization as well. Okay, I would simply go and specify the rest of the things. Oops, give me a moment. Back, cancel. Okay, company code 77777C. I'm copying it. Okay, and hit enter. Just go and save it. Now you see this Sridhar, vendor Sridhar has been created for 77G purchasing organization. Now this error will no more appear. I'll once again go with ME31K, creation of a contract. Vendor is this one, 77G, global purchase organization, assignment of company code with purchase organization. Now you see, once again, it's a contract. Okay, this time shall we use the same material or a different material? Okay, so come on, let me go with the same material. Or why same material? Let me use a different material. Oops, I have to use the same material because that's the material that I've extended, right? So I should be using okay. I'll have to extend the material. Which material do you want me to pick up? Can we use this one? Connecting rod. Let me just go and see if this connecting rod is extended to all the plants. /n SE16 MARC connecting rod. Okay, so this is again available in only one plant, so therefore I'll have to extend this one to other plant. Okay, basic data 1 and 2, purchasing, general plant data and accounting. Purchasing group is NIS. GR processing time, I would say 1 day. Valuation class. Oops, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'm creating it in 666M, which is not my plant. I'm sorry, give me a moment. Organization levels 77C 0001, so it's 77P 0001. Save them as default. Okay, one sec, go to purchasing. Here GR processing time is not being given, so let me give that one. Come here, change this thing, connecting rod of 2500. That is okay. Okay, now I can use this material for this contract. Is this the material? Yes, it is. Now you see here, I wanted some 2000 connecting rods. Hit enter. Okay, now I can even specify 2500 is the price. Okay, I would simply go with PB00, that is gross price. Did I specify the plant here? Look at here. Did I specify the plant here? I'm not. Now, how can anyone say that this is a central contract? My intention is, if I procure the connecting rod for Chennai plant, it should be 2300. If I procure the connecting rod for Pune plant, it should be 2500. How can I do that? Can anybody tell me? Pavitra or Radhika, are you creating contracts in your day-to-day life?
We do not create, but we use the contracts.
Okay, so do you know how to maintain plant specific conditions in the contract?
Yes, sir. Only just we check that, but we do not create.
Okay, so now let me help you do that. Select the item, go to
Item.
edit, plant conditions,
Overview.
right? So here you specify 777C. Hit enter. Okay, now you see, from this vendor you are making an agreement of type quantity contract, and the conditions for the plant I wanted to make it as 2300, the price for this, right? And in case if you want to go with item conditions, you go ahead with this PB00, right? Now if I wanted to go with scales, select this, go with scales. So this is the place where Pavitra is asking me, can I use less than, greater than, or less than or equals to, or greater than or equals to. Okay, honestly speaking, I've never used that, but I'm just trying to give less than. Is it taking less than? It's not taking. Pavitra, it's not taking. So therefore you cannot give that way. Okay, again something similar to this. If it is 100, it is 2300. If it is 200, it's 2275. If it is 300, 2250. If it is above 500, okay, 2200. Right? I can give conditions like this. Go back once again. Right? Now you can still see here. This is for the Chennai plant. Now if you want to go back once again, you may go back. Now you see here, I'm going to enter 77p. Hit enter. This is for the 77p 2500. If you want to maintain the conditions, once again go with this PB00, right? The price is 2500. That's what we have maintained. Now if you want to go with scales, you go with scales. Like anything up to 100, 25. After 200, it is 2450. Then after 300, it's something like 2425. After 500, you make it as 2400. Something like this, right? Back once again, back once again, back once again. You see here, so like this you can specify as many plants as you can. Okay, if you want to just go with overview of the plant prices, you simply have to select this and go like this. Okay, back once again. Now go into messages. I'm sure it will be there, right? And then you simply go into release strategy, document not subjected to release, which is good. Back, want to save? Yes, I'm going to save it. Okay, so this is my contract. This is what I call it as a central contract. Now you see it's not subjected to release strategy. So what I'm going to do, I'll go and create a purchase order, because whenever I want a material, I need to raise an order. So when I raise an order, again with a document type of my own, okay, you see here, now you open document overview on contracts. So remove everything, give just the material, as this one, material number, find out the contract. Now you go and adopt it. Okay, now you see here, is the plant defaulted here? Can you see, is the plant defaulted? It's not. You know why? That's because this is, you are referring to a central contract. Okay, now look at here, what is the quantity that you require? Say 100. Okay, you could see here, lower price obtained for quantities greater than 200. Okay, that is the message that you are getting. Contract has different purchasing organization 777G. Okay, that is okay. Now let me switch off the document overview. You could see here I have given 777C as the purchasing organization in my purchasing document. Similarly, you see here, where is my contract? This is my contract. Okay, you can state I would. Okay, this is basically, which is this central contract is for the GCTR, which we get it from the SRM. Okay, so one more time, let me use the same contract number here, hit enter. Now you see here, this time I wanted to give 77p. If I give the quantity over here something like 200, now look at here. Okay, so for the same material from the same contract, if it is 77C, or even I can change the quantity here as well. Okay, for the same material, for the same quantity, if it is 77C, price is 2275. If it is for 777P, the price is 2450. Therefore, this kind of contract is central contract. Where are these things coming from? These are all coming from the central contract. So here you see, we discussed something called reference purchase organization while working with organization structure. Now you could remember, the central contract is created. Okay, let me put it here, created by global purchase organization, isn't it? And is referred by local, I would say, company code specific purchase organization while creating release order. Okay, central contracts are created by the global purchase organization, and this is referred by the local or company code specific purchase organization while creating release order, which is nothing but purchase order. So therefore, this central this local or CC, or rather this global purchase organization, is being called as reference purchase organization. Okay, so this is how you go and create contracts and you create purchase orders. I'll just go and save this order. Any questions in this so far, between the normal contracts and the central contracts? Any questions from anybody? Hello, can you guys hear me?
not from me. Not from the.
Thank you, sir. Radhika and
No,
Pavitra?
sir.
No?
No, sir.
Alright. If you have no questions in this, let me extend the contract. There is something called item category, which we have discussed about it in the purchase requisitions, purchase orders, and so on and so forth. Of course, purchase item category and account assignment category. How to use these item categories and account assignment categories in the contract? You see, there are certain items. Okay, why do I have to use item category? To increase the scope of the contract, to broaden my contract. For example, you have a certain vendor who can supply different types of materials. Okay, when I say different types of materials, they all belongs to same material, or they all have similar properties. For example, let me take it as you have a vendor, an office supplies vendor. Okay, he supplies legal paper, he supplies bond paper, he supplies A4 size, B4 size, etc. papers. You call any paper, whether it is A4 or B4 or legal or bond paper, every paper from which he charges is only 2 rupees. Okay, so what happens at you require these things every now and then. So what happens is, when you create a contract, you will raise a contract in a generic way saying that office paper, but you do not know how many A4 sized paper bundles you require, how many legal paper sized bundles you require. Those details you do not know at the time of contract creation. Therefore, you cannot specify, I wanted 10 bundles of A4 and 20 bundles of legal papers. That information, you don't have it at the time of contract creation. So therefore, you can't specify them in the contract. Right? Then, when the need arises, you should be knowing exactly how many A4 sized paper bundles you require, how many B4 sized paper bundles you may require. Those things you should be knowing at later stage. So therefore, if you have such scenario, how do I handle it? Right? So in cases like that, I can extend my contract for similar materials using item category. So in the configurations, we have seen your item categories. Which item categories are allowed for a particular document type? It is configuration, right? So in the configurations, we have seen your document type controls which item categories are allowed per document type. So therefore, let's try to understand what types of item categories are allowed for one quantity contract. What item categories are allowed for what you call the value contract. Okay, so item category to be used with contracts. Okay, typically we discussed, like, we have got two types of contracts, right? MK and WK. MK is quantity contract, WK is value contract. I would say here I've got two types of item categories possible. Okay, so here I would state this way. Okay, let me see here, right here, M means unknown at the time of contract, right? So here I would go with similar, or I would say this is what we from the SAP terminology we call it as material group. Okay, so we have got two types of item categories possible. Okay, along with the standard item and consignment item. Okay, so the standard item and consignment item can be used. There's no what you call restriction on them, whereas these two, M and W, these are special item categories which is to be used only for the contracts. Okay, the standard item, consignment item, pipeline item, subcontracting item, service item, these are all standard items. Okay, so what I'm discussing is the special item categories to be used for the contracts. So there is something called M, material unknown at the time of order, and there is something called material group. Okay, these are the only two categories which you can use it in the contracts. Let's try to understand the special features of material unknown. You see here, like I told you, material unknown at what time? At the order contract creation time. So therefore you do not know which materials you are going to order, right? So in such cases what you can do is you create a contract. While creating contract, let me go to the contract creation once again. Okay, so what am I trying to say is, let me use a different vendor or maybe same vendor. You create a contract. Okay, you create a contract. Okay, you create a contract because you do not know which materials are you going to order at the time of contract creation. You specify a generic description here, something like office supplies. How much you require? For example, 1000. What is the price? Let's say 2 rupees, whether it is a A4 paper, a B4 paper, or a legal paper, irrespective of any type of paper, I'm going to charge only 2 rupees. Okay, so if you creating a contract like this, please enter a material number or an account assignment category. I do not have the material number, isn't it? If I have the material number, I may have to enter, for example, if you have 10 materials having same price, okay, A4 paper, B4 paper, legal paper, bond paper, all those papers, you may have to end up 10 materials, which is not required. You are unnecessarily uh, making your contract or an agreement complex. Instead of doing that, you give a generic text over here, and because you do not know how many are you going to order a specific type of paper, I can go with account assignment category U, unknown at the time of, okay, unknown at the time of contract creation, right? So therefore you are not giving material master, so therefore you have to give the material group. So let's go and give material group. I would simply go with office supplies. Okay, there is something called office materials, so I'll go with this. Okay, enter. I would simply go with gross price, say hit enter, and now you see here I'm going to save this. This is my contract. This is what you see here. This is a quantity contract, right? I'm sorry, here I missed one thing. Item category I have to enter. Did I enter item category? I did not. Let me delete this. Okay, once again enter all those details. Okay, you unknown account, item category you have to choose as material unknown, and now you hit enter. Combination of item category M. Okay, you can remove the U this time. Okay, you can remove the U this time. Otherwise, if you are not using M, you can give the account assignment category unknown. Right? So now you see here, I did specify item category M. Material unknown at the time of contract creation, and I'm going to order 1000 bundles. Okay, give me a second. Bundle is the, what you call that, ream, right? It's not bundle, it should be ream, RM. Can you please look for RM, unit of measure? Papers are measured in reams, isn't it? RM. Is it ream or reel? I think it's ream. Okay, I would say, I would go, each ream is of say 1000 rupees. Okay, 500 pages, 1000 rupees. Okay, so now you see here, I'm going to save this. So this is my contract. So when you actually receive, when you actually in need of material, you have to create a purchase order with reference to this contract. But when you need it, you should be knowing exactly how much material is required. I mean to say, how many A4 size paper bundles are required, how many B4 bundle papers are required, how many legal papers are required. So therefore, let me just go and create the material, these three materials quickly. A4 paper. Okay, so maintenance, repairs and operations, I think this is what we have created. Oops, why is it not appearing? Industry sector. I thought we have created an industry sector. No, not there. Okay, I think this one, maintenance, repairs and operations, we have created over here. All right. So I'm going to order these materials. Okay, or rather, let me create these ones first. 77C. Okay, so I specify this as A4 paper, unit of measure as ream, material group as something called 006, that is office supplies. Okay, our office materials. Go to the next, purchasing group, purchasing value key, GR processing time. Okay, and valuation class, give something over here, and price as 1000. Okay, so one ream equals to 1000. I'll just go and create couple more materials of the same nature. Okay, so A4 paper. Now I'll go with B4 paper. Okay, I would simply put it as B4. Okay, maybe a different class, and then let's say legal paper. Okay, so same, right? So now I've got three different materials. Now look at this. This is my contract which I have created with the item category in the contract. So therefore, now while creating purchase order, okay, so once again PO document type is purchase order. Okay, so here I go with whatever purchasing groups or whatever purchase these things required. Go with document overview on contracts. Let me not give any of these things. So what's our contract? I simply specify the contract number over here. One second. So this is the vendor. So let me give the vendor number. Hit enter. Is this 85? Yes, it is. Okay. So now you go and adopt it. So when you adopt it, you see here, this time your system would give a different message. Please enter a material number or an account assignment. Why? You see here, either you should enter a material number or an account assignment. If you are assigning an account assignment, obviously you have to give the cost center and stuff like that, so that you can procure it that way. Or the other way is, if you know the material number, you specify the material number, those A1, A2, A3, A4 or whatever papers. Okay, so now you see, if I want, I can say 20 bundles of or 20 reams of this one. Okay, contract is not released, so let me just go and release the contract first. /NME 35K. Who are all the people to approve? C3, C4, C5. Okay, C3, you get it released 85, and then C4, you release it, and also C5. Okay, you release it. So once you are done with it, let me check it. System is not refreshing it. Let me copy this and then redo the same release order creation once again. Okay, so therefore you could see here, you can open document overview on. Once again you go with contracts. Okay, you go and execute the contract. Try to find out the contract. You go with adopt the data from the contract. Now you see office supplies. System is asking you to enter material number or an account assignment category. So here, if I go and specify material number, it accepts. Now it's asking what is the quantity. Let's say 25 bundles of A4 paper. Similarly, you can go and specify once again. So here I can go with B4 paper. How many bundles? Say 20. Okay, so B4 paper, there is no B4 paper. Let me check it. What is the material number that I have maintained for that? Where are the other materials? I thought I have created. It's only A4 paper is there. Maybe it would have been created in a different plant. Wow. Didn't we created materials? Legal paper created. Where are these created? Let me see it. Slash n se 16 marc b4 paper. Oh my god, it's in 77p. Okay, so maybe in that case legal paper also would have been created in 77p. Okay, so they were there in the other plant, so obviously I cannot go and change the plant information over here. Okay, I cannot go and change the plant information here, even if I change it, because the contract that I've created, it will not match up with this. So therefore I have to extend these materials. One moment please. Slash n mm01 b4 paper. Okay, so I still have to use this one. Counting general plant data 1 and 2. So here it should be, sorry, C. Okay, it needs to be taken from P. Similarly for legal also, let me just go and put it here. Okay, so it is P here. Okay, now you go to your PO creation screen. Okay, so even if you put it as C, it accepts it. Again, the screen is not refreshing, so simply go ahead and restart the transaction, with which it will allow you to do so. Nissan POs, when you go with contracts, okay, so you see the contract here. Okay, you go with adopt. Okay, so here you specify the material. Okay, so now you can enter the quantity, let's say B4 bundles of 15. Similarly, you can ask many depending upon the material. Okay, so you can specify here similar to this. Okay, so even the legal papers, you simply have to replace. Okay, you simply have to okay, it's not papers, it's paper, I guess. Okay, you simply have to replace the material, or you simply have to add the material in the item level, so that this gets created. So this way what you can do is you can extend your contract, you can extend the scope of your contract, so that lot of materials can be brought under same contract. So in case if you have such kind of requirements, we will go with this approach, right? So it's depending upon the business process already, or how, which kind of materials that your customer will have. Based on that, either you go with a simple normal contract, plant specific contract, or you go with a central contract, or you will go with a quantity based contract with what you call material unknown, type material unknown at the time of order creation, but at the time of actual requirement you have to specify which material is required for how much quantity. So therefore This is how we go with the contracts. So let me just go and save it. Any questions in this so far?
Srinivas, this is based on your existing contract. See how we can differentiate like direct procurement and indirect procurement in this one.
Direct procurement and indirect procurement. Okay, so direct procurement is something like, you have a material master available. It's a stock material. So where when you purchase a material, your stock account will be updated. That's what we call it as direct procurement. Indirect procurement is something like where you do not have materials, but still you procure. Where you do not have material master, but you still procure items. For example, let me show you the same PO. If I go into this without specifying these material numbers like B4, A4, etc., etc., I simply give office supplies. In that case, the system expects me to enter account assignment category, right? So if I give an account assignment category, it will go to a cost center or to a project. It means you have to give the account assignment details. Such procurement is called indirect procurement. If you give the material master, provided if it's a stock material, the account which gets updated at the time of receipt is stock account. Such procurement is called direct materials, or the procurement of such materials is called direct procurement. Does that answer your question, Sridhar?
Yeah, basically this is for any office supplies or so it's always, even for example, you have before paper as a material defined in the system for the master data. So even because of this, only the reason is it find in the system, then it's called, whether it is office supplies or something else, also it's called direct procurement, because you have defined the material. That's what it says.
To some extent, yes, but not 100%. Let's say, you see here, I'll go and change. If I use account assignment K,
Okay.
right, in that case, system expects me to enter cost center and the cost element also. If you see here, did I remember cost centers? I think maybe this one. If I go with this, even this also will suffice my need. System will not give me any error. You know that what's happening here? Though the material is available here, I am booking my expenses to a cost center. This is indirect procurement.
Okay.
So it's basically whether you are giving account externally or whether the system is determining the account at the time of updating the accounts. That's the key which will tell you whether it is an indirect procurement or a direct procurement.
Okay. Basically, it is account assignment, group assignment, basically.
Exactly. It's how the system determines the account. Is the account determination automatic? That is called direct procurement. If it is not automatic, you are giving the account manually. In that case, it's going to be indirect procurement.
So, if you're not giving this account assignment, obviously, you are provided material number. From there, it is going to determine whatever the account directly.
Correct.
Okay.
Because you are giving material number, from material number system identifies valuation class. From valuation class, there is something called, okay, so valuation class is one parameter. You require 4 more parameters to identify the account while doing what you call postings. There is something called chart of accounts, of course, which will be available from the plant company code. When you are doing inventory transactions, plant and storage location is mandatory. From plant, your system understands or identifies or determines there is something called valuation area, and for each valuation area there is something called valuation grouping code. So valuation grouping code is another parameter, let's say parameter number 2, along with valuation class. And because you know valuation area, which is nothing but your plant or company code, for company code you have something called chart of accounts which will be assigned. So chart of accounts is parameter number 3, which determines the account. Along with this, There is something called transaction event key, which is determined from the movement type, and all the inventory transactions will be associated with a respective movement type. From movement type, a transaction event key will be derived, and in case if it is the any movement without referring the preceding document, in that case that is what we call it as without reference, which is offsetting entry is required for that. Therefore there is something called account modifier, which will be derived from the transaction event key. So these are the 5 parameters which system uses to determine the account. Need not be 5 always either. Combination of these 5. For example, stock account, it takes some of these 3. For offsetting entry, 100%, 5 parameters are required. For a GRIR account, you don't require any of these things except chart of account, right? So depending upon your business scenario, how the customer wanted, based on that we configure these parameters to determine the account.
Okay.
Any other questions? Pavitra, Radhika or Sudhakar?
No, from my
Alright, if you don't have any questions, let me stop it here, and we will continue with the value contracts and scheduling agreements tomorrow. Okay, I think somebody is giving some message.
Okay, sir.
All right then, thank you very much. See you tomorrow at 9:30.